Good afternoon on this Sunday. I am meteorologist Leah Pezzetti, joined by Christian Balderas. Thanks for being with us. We here on King 5 Plus want to bring you the latest on the weather, the active weather that is happening across Western Washington this weekend. As we all know, we lived it. Friday was a very wet day, record-breaking rain. Saturday, last night, brought the wind. And at this point today, we're taking a look at all of that damage. Christian will have that in just a moment. We are also talking about the snow that is falling over the Cascade Passes. All of that causing a first alert weather weekend. The big story of today is the cleanup from high winds across the region, causing down trees and power outages. So I do want to go now to King 5's Christian Balderas. And Christian, you were out surveying the damage. What did you see today?
Yeah, when we were planning the coverage this morning, you could really just throw a dart at a map and you're going to find a neighborhood that's unfortunately without power. We started over in Seattle, where if you can take the video here, take a look at this. It can be pretty damaging. This is one tree just uprooted a sidewalk, toppled over in a neighborhood. Fortunately, no one was hurt in this neighborhood, but one woman in that neighborhood, unfortunately, does not have power. Also, her car got damaged. In total, this morning, we started off with 150,000 people without power about 9 a.m. Take a look at this here. You can really just travel up and down Western Washington. You'll see very similar scenes, trees over power lines, leaving just thousands of people in the dark. Now, as we traveled closer to the foothills, this right here is in Bonnie Lake, we saw more of that. That's because more trees, more down power lines. Again, we started off with 150,000 people at about 9 a.m. Then when we got to about 1 p.m., significantly decreased. We went to 115,000. Of course, the big question people are asking is, when's my power going to come back on?
Right. Crews are working hard today, I assume.
Oh, they have their hands full for sure. Puget Sound Energy doesn't want to commit to a timeline. They got their hands full, but they did say it really just depends whether you get your power from a distribution line or a transmission line. A distribution line typically is in a neighborhood, while transmission line is in more rural, mountainous areas. It's hard to reach. Big story today, in addition to storm cleanup, is also storm assessment, assessing the damage. They should be just about done assessing that damage. They flew a helicopter over the mountains to see how bad the transmission lines are. If your power is tied to that transmission line, could be several days until your power comes back on. Of course, that is the worst case scenario. What
were some of the areas that were hit the hardest? I know you traveled around. You said you were in North Seattle, correct? You went down to Bonnie Lake, so you were across the region. When we look at the outage maps and where they're focusing their concentration of cleanup and surveying, what were the areas that seemed to be hit the hardest?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, really the foothills were hit pretty hard, but we took that question to PSC earlier today, and here's what they said.
The biggest issue we're seeing is down in the Thurston and Pierce County areas, and even some of that south or southeast Keene and the foothills, as you've seen.
Across Western Washington. This is the outage map that we're looking at right now. You can see it looks like a good amount down to the south, down to the southeast, down by Spanaway, Puyallup, but lots of little red dots, Tacoma as well. When we were in our late broadcast last night, I could see that Tacoma was seeing those blustery conditions. So it is checking out. We saw the strong wind in Tacoma, and now we are seeing the results with those power outages. Also a good amount up to the north, to the northeast of Seattle. Looks like around the kind of Kirkland, Woodinville areas, or maybe east of that toward Redmond. But yes, a lot of outages across Western Washington, and it does seem like pretty widespread, especially when you look at that map. So as Christian just said, crews will be working through today to get those power back online for so many people across Western Washington. So we will stay on top of that, and Christian will have a full report. We'll have the latest on those outages and expected timelines. This evening, after football is over, we have our fifth quarter show, and after that we'll begin our news broadcasts on King 5. So you can be sure to watch then, and we will have the very latest and hear that full report from Christian. Thank you to Christian for that insight. Well, we followed this news. We brought you this breaking news yesterday. A Halloween celebration in Pierce County turned tragic Saturday afternoon when a large tree came crashing down, killing one person and injuring several others at that event. This is because of that strong wind on Saturday afternoon. This happened at McKenna Park near Roy off of Highway 507 right by the Nisqually River. This is down to in the south parts of the region. King 5's Alex McClune was at the scene on Saturday and has a look at that impact.
Vendors are cleaning up from this tragedy here at a market in McKenna. You can see this is the large limb that got torn down by what people say was a strong gust of wind around 1 o'clock Saturday. You can see the first responders helping clean up here. Behind them is a memorial for a man in his 30s who was killed when this large branch came crashing down.
It sounded like lightning, and then the tree fell and everyone started screaming, started running.
Deputies say 40 to 80 people were attending a pop-up Halloween market when the tree snapped in half. Hundreds of pounds fell on top of 6 to 8 booths. Dozens of other vendors were left stunned in the parking lot.
We were all over there, and we heard a big old crack, and then everyone just started running.
Deputies say the tree trapped 7 people. 3 were treated at the scene, 3 others were rushed to hospitals. Pierce County deputies call it a tragic freak accident. Tree failures can happen this time of year as storms roll through western Washington.
The Pierce County Sheriff's Office says this is a deadly reminder to have large trees inspected by a certified arborist. In McKenna, Alex McClune, King 5 News.
And we do want to show you what some of those wind speeds were on Saturday because they were very strong across the region. So taking you to look now at those observed wind gusts from Saturday. We saw a gust of 77 miles per hour in Hoquiam. Wow, that was the strongest that we saw in western Washington. Tacoma, as we just said, Tacoma has a lot of outages right now. 60 mile per hour gust was observed. SEA, 56 mile per hour gust. Bellingham, 47 mile per hour gust was observed. And you know what? Across western Washington, gusts in the 40s were widespread. So 40s were a very common gust that we observed. Today, it is much more calm. Here is a look at the observed wind gusts that we've seen since midnight on this Sunday. So we have shifted our focus from the south up to the Strait of Juan de Fuca. Port Angeles saw a gust of 38 miles per hour. Seattle did see a gust of 39 miles per hour today. So today is the 20s and 30s, and that is a stark contrast to what we saw yesterday. That strongest wind was on Saturday night, but the good news looking forward is the strong wind is now done. So we will take a breather in the form of wind. However, we are going to shift our focus to snow. I do want to say we are so reliant on all of you for reporting storm damage. So if you have any visuals of any impacts in your neighborhood, your neck of the woods, we want to see what you're seeing. Please text us 206-448-4545. Please be sure to include who took it, where, and when. We want to know what you are seeing in your neck of the woods. You all are our best eyes around western Washington, especially for a storm like this that is so widespread. It wasn't just one specific area that was hit. We know many people across the region are feeling the impact. So Christian just showed you some of those areas, and his reporting will continue tonight. But we also want to see what you are seeing, and if you can share it with those visuals with us, we would love to share those with the community. So people can see what happened and understand the scope of this windstorm on Saturday night. But as we look forward, we're going to shift our focus. Today, the focus is on the mountains. So as we said earlier at the beginning of this show, Friday was the rain. You remember Friday night brought record rain. In fact, the first time Seattle picked up an inch of rain in more than a year. I believe it was 2 years actually. So rain was the story on Friday. Wind was the story on Saturday. Now Sunday, we shift our focus to the snow. So here are some live looks from the passes, I-90 and Highway 2. Actually, both roads are looking clear right now. I-90 is Snoqualmie Pass. That elevation is about 3,000 feet. So a little bit of snow there on the side of the road, but not seeing any snow sticking to the road. Stevens Pass just a moment ago. I could see snow there on the highway, so I'm assuming that a plow just came through and cleared that out. So yes, we are definitely seeing the snow in the mountains. We will have much more on that after the break. We will take a look at the snow for the remainder of Sunday, and then we're also going to take a look forward. We have a couple more storms that are heading our way this week. We are not out of the woods yet. So stay with us. We will have much more on the forecast and what is to come this upcoming week straight ahead.
New data about safety and effectiveness can come to light. The FDA keeps track of that new data, which can come from patients, drug makers, or healthcare professionals, and may include information about negative reactions to prescriptions. Based on this information, the FDA may recommend that the drug maker update the drug labeling by adding warnings or updated dosage information. Changes could also include the FDA requesting a drug recall. Find the answers at fda.gov/drugs.
We're with Liam after his 4th military move. When being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on King 5 Plus on this first alert weather day. It is Sunday, October 26th, 4:12 right now if you're watching live. And it is a first alert weather day. Rain, wind, and now mountain snow. So a lot to get to. And that's just this weekend. This weekend is wrapping up. We are going to let our first alert weather status expire this evening because this storm is eventually clearing out tonight. However, we have a couple other storms that are on deck this week. So we are not done with the active weather. In fact, multiple storms back-to-back are lined up to impact Western Washington this week. So let's jump right into it. I want to show you just an overview of the next couple of days. Really, the next major rainmaker is going to be arriving Tuesday into Wednesday. Then we catch a little bit of a break, but just in time for the Halloween holiday, we have another disturbance that is moving in. So to break it all down to you, tonight we will let that first alert weather status expire. We, for the lowlands, are keeping an eye on rain that is transitioning to showers. We do have snow levels that are dropping down to about 3,000 feet. So that is one of the things that we're keeping an eye on this evening. And that is one of the big focuses of Sunday night. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we will not be in first alert weather mode. Overall, Monday and Tuesday look dry, a couple lingering showers. We'll try to time that out in just a moment. But then Tuesday night into Wednesday is when the next round of rain moves in, and that will bring more significant rain. Here's a look at satellite and radar. This is the last 12 hours for you, and you can see what our Sunday daytime hours brought. It was steadier rain earlier this morning. You see that play out right there, but then it started to fizzle out, taper off, so it's just some spotty showers that remain. A closer look at Western Washington on this Sunday afternoon, early evening. We do have some steadier rain up to the north. Let's zoom in on that. Looks like around the convergence zone. So the northern tip of the Kitsap Peninsula, a good chunk of Snohomish County looks like around Highway 2, we're seeing some of that rain near about Woodinville is where we're seeing some of that steady rain right now. So most of it is light. We are starting to see it taper off as we head into this afternoon and evening, but we're not done with the rain yet. I do want to point your attention to the mountains. We lost a little bit of the moisture right now, so it actually looks like the mountains could be a good, this could be a good chance to travel the passes if you need to. Snoqualmie Pass has little to no moisture. Looks like Highway 2 does have a little bit of moisture, but it looks like a little bit of a rain-snow mix right now around the pass. Let's see if we can zoom in there. This is going to be our pass. Yep, they're seeing snow up there at that higher elevation. So a couple live looks outside. Snoqualmie Pass, you see some cars moving along okay. The snow is not sticking necessarily on the ground, it looks like at Snoqualmie Pass. Stevens Pass has a lot more snow. That 1,000-foot change can make a big difference. So Snoqualmie Pass is at 3,000 feet. That's about where our snow levels are today. Stevens Pass is about 4,000 feet, so 1,000 feet above that. So what a difference 1,000 feet can make, especially when we talk about those snow accumulations. And this is the time of year, especially with those first snows, we see it falling, but it's a lot harder for it to stick because the ground is just warm. It's coming off of our summer and fall months. It hasn't really frozen a lot, so it's a lot harder to see that snow sticking usually those first couple storms unless it gets really cold. So we are kind of right on that sweet spot right now, right on the cusp of freezing ground. So as we take a look forward, Snoqualmie Pass will continue to try to snow, so we'll see snow falling, but the sticking is going to be a much different situation, especially because those temperatures at the surface will remain just above freezing. So actually Snoqualmie Pass, if you are looking to travel, I would take I-90. Looks like Snoqualmie Pass is in a much better situation as far as snow sticking on the ground. Stevens Pass is a little bit cooler, especially as we head into our evening hours tonight. We are going to see temperatures dropping below freezing at Stevens Pass, so that lingering moisture will fall and likely stick as snow. So a good thing to keep in mind if you are doing any of that pass travel. Once again, Stevens Pass, 4,000 feet, so well above that snow level today. We do still have a winter weather advisory in place. This will expire at 11 p.m. tonight. This is for areas above 3,500 feet. So technically, actually, Snoqualmie Pass is not included in that. However, as we just showed you, there is some snow there on the side of the roadways at Snoqualmie Pass. So this will expire tonight. Storm totals are up to about 6 to maybe 8 inches of snow for our higher elevation. The higher elevation you go, the more snow you will see, and we're really seeing a good amount of snow over Mount Rainier. So as we take a look forward the rest of tonight, really we're only looking at another couple of inches. We've seen a couple inches fall already on this Sunday afternoon and through the rest of tonight into early tomorrow morning. Most of us will only tap into another 1 to 2 inches of snow. Stevens Pass could see 2 to 3, maybe 4 inches of snow. This model tends to overestimate. So we are nearing the end of the storm impact, but we are not quite there yet. Let's talk about the precipitation in the low levels too. So this is in the next hour or so. This is showing 5 p.m. here. Yep, we'll keep a lot of that rain in the lowlands up to the north. It looks like Whatcom, or areas north of Snohomish County has rain tonight. There's that Stevens Pass snow as well, and it looks like Baker will tap into some snow this evening. We actually have the sun peeking out down to the south. Look at Tacoma and Olympia. It's a much different story down there. So lingering showers, spotty showers for the lowlands with that mountain snow that's starting to taper off. This is 10 p.m. tonight. Most of the moisture, same thing, is fizzling out. Couple showers still sticking around. We do still have some of that snow in our higher elevations, but that'll favor our northern Cascades. And then it completely fizzles out tomorrow, so into Monday. This is Monday morning, 5:30 a.m. here. A couple light showers could sneak in for your early morning commute. Any early morning drivers on Monday morning, get ready for a couple spotty showers, but it's not widespread and none of it is expected to be heavy in nature. Just a couple of sprinkles that come and go. I don't expect it to have any big impacts on your day. Throughout the day, the moisture will continue to fizzle out. This is right around lunchtime. Still a couple light showers out and about, but the sun will peek out for many of us. Partly cloudy skies. This is 6 p.m. and at this point, we're pretty much done with that moisture. Okay, so that is the end of the disturbance that brought us this exciting weather this weekend. Technically, it is one storm that brought us the rain on Friday, the snow on the wind on Saturday and the snow on Sunday. But we now are going to look forward into the next storm. So actually, if we could go back to our graphics, I want to show you what is to come later on this week because we're not done yet. So into Monday and Tuesday, we will start dry. This is Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. here. The next disturbance is moving in. It'll start over the peninsula in the morning. Overall, Tuesday is damp. We'll see some showers sneaking in, but actually the Olympics will create a little bit of a rain shadow, blocking a lot of that moisture from hitting the region. Then we'll see the rain really increasing, the heavier rain late Tuesday night. This is Tuesday at 11 p.m. and at this point we'll see some heavy rain moving through. That does look to impact most of us in Western Washington, but this is going to be quick hitting. So this is 11 p.m. We see some brief periods of heavy rain. By early in the morning, this is 6 a.m., most of it has cleared. So actually the next disturbance will impact most of us in the overnight hours. We're not looking at heavy impacts during the day. I want to take a wide look at what is to come with that. So here we are tomorrow afternoon, that little bit of lingering moisture out there, a couple spotty showers as this disturbance wraps up. There's the next storm. You see that low, the center of the low is up to the northwest of us, but we're getting the tail end of those impacts. So that is what's going to bring us the heavy rain Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. Then we get another brief period of dry weather. Actually, Thursday is looking very nice. If you are looking to do anything outdoor, you need to clean your gutters out, do it on Thursday, because Thursday looks like we'll actually have the sun peeking out, partly cloudy skies. It'll be pretty nice out there. But what do you notice over the Pacific? In the Gulf of Alaska, the next storm is moving in. So we see that rolling in during the day on Friday. Let's get you to Friday afternoon, 4:30 here. We're starting to tap into that moisture. It's right on the cusp of those Halloween trick-or-treating hours, and we don't have our high-resolution models yet. We'll get that in the next 2 days. But what we're seeing right now is that the rain starts to sneak in on Friday afternoon, Friday evening, just in time for those trick-or-treating hours. So I would just start making plans for wet weather on that Halloween forecast. And notice that the rain is that pretty steady stream. Yeah, that's a pretty clear indication that it's an atmospheric river. And we see that continuing into Saturday morning. In fact, it increases in intensity Friday night to Saturday morning. So it looks like we will have another period of very wet weather next weekend, starting Friday night into Saturday morning. So taking a look at our 7-day forecast, to wrap it all up, one more recap of this weather. We are going to see spotty showers on Monday, partly sunny skies. Those showers decrease throughout the day. Tuesday, a little bit of a mix of showers, but the heaviest rain moves in late Tuesday night. Wednesday, we'll start with that moisture, but then we'll dry things out. That paves the way for a pretty mild Thursday for us, but really not a lot of warming. Even with that sun peeking out, we'll only get a couple degrees of warming. So you can see that with the temperatures across the next 7 days. We're sitting in the range of just 3 to 5 degrees of change total throughout the entire week. So get ready for cooler weather. And then on Friday, that Halloween forecast brings that increasing rain. Saturday, we'll have rain at times, and then Sunday, showers will start to decrease as that next atmospheric river clears. So that is a look at your 7-day forecast. A lot to get through. I know it has been a wild weather weekend. I'm hoping everybody was okay this weekend. Once again, don't forget to share those visuals with us if you have any impacts. If you traveled the pass and you want to share what the pass is looking like right now for you, we want to see those visuals. You can text us 206-448-4545. Once again, 206-448-4545. All right, that is the forecast. But I want to mention for everybody today, October 26th, it is our final 6 p.m. sunset. Okay, winter's knocking on our door. Coming up after the break, I'm going to walk you through some of those big milestones heading our way as far as daylight is concerned. The darkness is coming, everybody, but we'll look forward to the light as well. Stay with us. That's after the break.
New data about safety and effectiveness can come to light. The FDA keeps track of that new data, which can come from patients, drug makers, or healthcare professionals, and may include information about negative reactions to prescriptions. Based on this information, the FDA may recommend that the drug maker update the drug labeling by adding warnings or updated dosage information. Changes could also include the FDA requesting a drug recall. Find the answers at fda.gov/drugs.
Welcome back. It is October 26th, and today is our final 6 p.m. sunset of the year. So I want to take you to, let's talk about the big milestones that are heading our way the next couple of days. We don't have our information for temperatures in quite yet, but today, 7:45 was our sunrise and that sunset at 6:01. So we are waiting to get those recordings of the highs and the lows. We'll get that once the sun sets. But also, a fun little fact for you, 57 degrees is the normal high of the year. 45 degrees is the normal low of the year, and actually temperatures were pretty spot on with that. But that sunrise today was 7:45. The sunset was 6:01. We are not going to see a sunset after 6:01 until next March. So enjoy this 6 p.m. sunset. Not that you can see much because it is pretty cloudy out there. And of course, we always talk about the next thing we're looking forward to. We are heading toward increasing daylight. So this is the time of the year as we head toward that winter equinox that we lose daylight. That's what we talk about, right? So 56 days until December 21st. That is when we have our shortest day of the year as far as daylight is concerned. So 8 hours and 25 minutes is the daylight we will see on December 21st. So today, of course, that right around 6 p.m. sunset, but look at that sunset time on December 21st. 4:20 is when we will see the sunset. That is the earliest sunset that we see all year long. So sunrise will be at 7:55 a.m. That is the latest that we see during that time frame. So of course, right now we are losing daylight on that winter equinox, December 21st, we are going to start gaining daylight again. So we are heading into the big dark, but of course, we are going to see things shape up a little bit better beyond that. All right, let's take one more check of our forecast. I know that we are talking about the mountain snow today, so let's take one more check of our passes. It does look like I-90, we're seeing cars moving along nicely there. Highway 2, I am seeing some precipitation, looks like snow on the lens there. So some snow falling on the trees. It looks like a winter wonderland, but of course, as we just said, we are still more than or close to 2 months away from that start of winter. So if you are doing any past travel, be ready for that snow. And I always hate to see it this time of the year when people say they're caught off guard because of mountain snow, because we are here to warn you. We're letting you know. Now is the time of the year when you want to be ready with those chains in your car and be ready for winter weather, because we are transitioning into that snow season. And I know a lot of skiers and snowboarders are looking forward to the snow that is starting to fall. This is, of course, the early stages of that base that will allow us to open our resorts, which I do believe at last check, we're looking at some early December opening times for the resorts. Okay, that was a lot to get through. It's been an active weather weekend this weekend, but we are going to let that first alert weather status expire here shortly now that this large atmospheric river is clearing the area. Take a breath. Enjoy a little bit of a break between the active weather because more rain is on the way later on this week, but enjoy the rest of your Sunday, everybody.